All right, so we're gonna start off with a couple of questions from Zoe and I, and then bring it to you guys, the audience. My question is, I remember being 18 years old, sitting in these seats and thinking, wow, I am so risk averse, I will never do what those guys are doing. Building a venture is incredibly difficult, and there's always the chance of failure. So how do you guys manage risk?
I can take that. So I would say that in terms of risk, you have to think about, there's different kinds of risk. I mean, there's financial risk, there's, emotional risk. For me, with family estrangement, it's a social risk, really. And so you have to take that into assessment with yourself, with whatever idea you're starting. And it doesn't mean that that should limit you. It just means think about how you can best prepare yourself for these things to make sure that you're mentally prepared. I think that in terms of risk, anytime you ever want to get a reward, there has to be a risk involved. As Jonathan was mentioning earlier, if you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always got. So it takes stepping out of that box. It takes getting out of your comfort zone in order to really achieve what it is that you're set out to achieve.
I'll add something too. I used to play ball, so you miss every shot you don't take. Every no you get will bring you closer to your yes. Without risk and failure, you will not win.
All right, now I'll ask another one. Being a founder is hard and impossible on your own. Who supported you, and how have they supported you in the past? And what resources do you find was most impactful?
Yeah, I'll take that. I think, my current team, we started off just knowing each other in high school, actually. So we're already kind of close. And I think having good people around you, like in your circle, is super important, because there's days I don't feel like doing nothing, and they're like, get up. We got to get this done. We got to get this app in. We got to get this future up, right? We got to have this meeting. And I think having, it's not a solo thing, right? If you're a solo founder, of course, you still have to, be self-motivated, but you should always have either a mentor or someone around your circle that will really push you. And then the resources that are available when it comes to, other people, right? Everyone has their own focus. So even if you're like in tech, right? Like there's like full stack engineers, there's like DevOps. I personally do infrastructure. There's like cybersecurity. Like if you have people with different, specializations, you can, when you put it together, you make a really good team. And then the resources outside of that, right? Always go to your innovation center. The Bill Lab is a great one if you are here at BU. But every school, around here in Boston has their own innovation center that I always recommend always going to. Go do these competitions, participate in the events, and I think using those resources will really help you, network and get the resources that you need.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And now we're going to open it to you guys. Please line up at these two microphones right here, and we'll have time for just a few questions. So come on up, race, and get a chance to talk to these great speakers. Come on, don't be shy.
There we go. Here we go.
Woo!
He's just going to the bathroom.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. I didn't realize that was going to break.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I saw based on you guys' profiles that most of you are still in school, right? So how do you balance just learning and working on something on your own? I feel like that's like kind of hard to balance, especially as a student.
Incredibly imperfectly. Like, really, truly, it is hard. And I just want to validate that to anybody working on something. It's hard emotionally, it's hard logistically, it's difficult, but it's also the thing that you're passionate about, and it's not something, at least personally, that I would want to give up. So it's fine for me. It's been finding a lot of ways that I can incorporate my business into my academics. So I created my own major at Northeastern, and that kind of helps me study what I'm doing with my business. So it's getting a little crafty, maybe finding those like ways that you can kind of incorporate things into each other, so it's not like you're doing a million things at once, but also acknowledging that like all of us are probably doing it very imperfectly, and it's overwhelming and hard, and that's just like part of what this time is. But again, with support and with everything, like you can do it totally.
I wanted to go back to risk a little bit. If we're talking about like solving a real world problem or bringing about like a novel idea and like bring change, how do you balance risk and uncertainty and not falling down this like rabbit hole, and you find out and you look in the mirror and you're like, I just spent so much time with all this false confidence and I was really just chasing uncertainty rather than not like calculating risk.
I'd love to like talk on that because it's very similar to what the core of my talk I feel was about and what my experience has been. Risk is there to keep you safe. So like we're all going to have it with anything that we can't really see the really cool things that are going to come out of it, because we can only speculate all the bad things. And I think that whenever you feel that risk or that nervousness holding you back, that's like the best opportunity to take a second and try to figure out where that's coming from, where that fear is coming from, really. Because maybe it's coming from something more deeply rooted, and it's finally a chance that you can reflect on whatever that is. And maybe it's coming from just that fear of failure. And to that, something that helps me a lot is remembering that whatever failure is, it's also just feedback from the world that like maybe that's not the right path, and it's kind of like, thank you failure, like thank you for letting me know I'm gonna shift a little and go this way, and like as long as you aren't as scared of it and you use it as like feedback, it's more helpful. But yeah, that's what I would say.
I would love to add on that. Market research. If you are confident in the research you do, or you're confident in the market, that you know your market, that's kind of what brings that confidence. Right, because if you are not sure what market you're going into, you don't know like the competitors, you don't know what your kind of your market fit is, you're going to be kind of scared because it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm getting into. But when you know your market, when you know your kind of end user, whatever you're building, I think that is super important to calming yourself down and understanding the risk involved in launching a venture.
All right. Well, one more question. Yes, okay, one more question.
This is a question for everyone. Now, have there ever been moments where you felt like quitting, and when did those moments happen, and how did you deal with them?
Yeah, I can answer that. Often.
At the beginning.
And I think that that's a common thread for a lot of entrepreneurs, because the reality is, as an entrepreneur, you are the only one that cares the most about what it is that you specifically are doing. Nobody else does, because if they cared that much, they would be doing it, right? So if you're the one doing it, you have to care the most. And in doing that, you are now kind of alone. You build a vision, and you get people to buy into your story and your vision. That's part of it, as being a leader. But it also takes a lot. It takes a lot of work, and it takes you stepping up to the plate to make that happen. And so it really takes a lot of self-determination, I think. It takes being intentional and really coming up with that why and sticking to your why and revisiting that why. Because the moment you fall down, don't let that deter you. Go back to your why. You started it to begin with for a reason. And look to the people you're serving. Use that as validation for yourself too. This is going somewhere. People are giving me positive feedback. And just keep doing that, because it is a lonely journey, but it comes through with time and dedication.
Thank you.
All right, I think we're all set, but thank you guys for inspiring us and sharing your insight. Let's give it up for them. Thank you.
Got all set. All right. And now it's time for a real treat. We'd like to invite Ignite alumni and co-founders of Bendada Music Festival, Inês, Andrade, and Edoardo Carpenedo to the stage.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Inês and Edoardo conceived of the Bendada Music Festival while graduates here at Boston University, where they received doctorates in performance piano. They spoke at a previous Ignite conference in 2019, so this will be an opportunity to see how they've grown. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
How have you grown over the last few years?
The last time we were here was 2019, and we were presenting our project. And then our festival was a 2-week music festival, mostly classical music. We had also a summer academy. And since then, we have expanded our operation. Now we have year-round events. We have 2 sleepaway summer music camps. One takes place in the spring, during the spring break, and the other one during the month of July. We have a year-round concert series with events mostly in the village of Bendada, which is a village located in Portugal, in the interior part of the country. And we also have events abroad in Europe and in the United States. We have a concert here tonight, actually, in Back Bay, featuring some of our wonderful students from the past summer music camp. We also have a concerto competition, which is an amazing opportunity for our artists to compete and perform as soloists with an orchestra, win monetary prizes and concert engagements.
And I can just add that besides having all those new things at the festival, last year we started a collaboration with an orchestra, and we were able to do a symphonic concert in Bendada for the very first time ever. The population of Bendada had never seen an orchestra live before, and having that in the village was a really special moment for them. And this is something we want to continue, we want to repeat. And as Edoardo said, we are now doing events year-round. We have concerts basically every month, and some of them happen abroad, like today's concert in Boston. Some happen in the big cities in Portugal, but the majority of them are still happening in this village because that's where we want to create a bigger impact. So we bring our music to our cities also to create awareness of the interior of Portugal. And then we want to bring our students back to Bendada to continue the impact in this population and in this village and in the region.
Wow, thank you for sharing. Running an arts organization during the pandemic must be especially challenging. How has it impacted your venture?
So it was very challenging the moment we understood that in 2020 we would not be able to go to Bendada, we would not be able to run the festival there. But we didn't want to give up on that year, we wanted to continue, so we moved the whole program to an online program. We created an online platform for 2 weeks where we could still have most of our festival events, just organized in a different way. And it was actually, it went a lot better than anything that we could ever expected, because we were able to reach students all over the world. So we collaborated and we received new applicants from places that we would have never received in Bendada because there were no traveling involved. And during the online festival, we shared some stories of Bendada, some images and some past videos. And those that participated from all over the world got really excited about coming to Bendada. So in 2021 and 2022, we actually got some of those students in the village. And I think we were able to grow the festival that way because in 2020 we reached such a wider audience that now are excited to come to Portugal and to experience the festival in the village.
Thank you, thank you.
Congratulations to both of you. Do you have any advice for budding entrepreneurs who want to get started?
I think connecting also to the wonderful speakers that we had today, take a problem and transform it into an opportunity. Think outside the box, and don't be alone in your project. Try to reach out to the community around you. Find other people that will work with you, especially during the hard times. It's nice to have a team and people around you that supports you. They push you and they believe in you to succeed.
Yeah, I can also add that we already heard so many beautiful inspiration talks today, and I agree with the last thing they were saying so completely. It applies to us that when things get tough, just keep thinking about your mission, keep thinking about why you're doing this project, why did you started it, and what you want to see out of it, what impact you want to make, and just keep thinking about it as you receive many no's, as things don't go the way you want. There's always another way. There's always another path that you can take to still be able to reach your mission. So never give up, and keep that in mind.
Thank you so much. Inês and Edoardo aren't just here to inspire us by talking. They also have music to share with us today. Please join me to welcome a student from the Bendada Music Festival to the stage for a creative infusion. Sophia Bagulho. Wow. Wow, that was incredible. I don't know about you, Justin, but I want to hop a plane to Portugal.
This will have to do for now. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful music with us. Thank you for sharing your inspiration with us as well. We're about to switch some gears and turn our attention to all of you. You're about to get to try your hand at some of our workshops that we've produced in partnership with Tufts University as well as UMass Lowell. So get ready.
All right, awesome. And we'll be getting there real soon. As you may recall, you each signed up for a morning and afternoon workshop when you registered. You can find the list of enticing workshops here.
Not sure.
All right. You can find a list of enticing workshops here or on the Hoover app. If you have not downloaded it yet, please write down the room number right now in your notebook.
It strikes me that all these innovators have something that they deeply care about and found a way to share with the world. And you might be thinking, how do I launch my own venture?
And we want to help you get there. As part of this journey, we'd like to invite BU faculty member Wendy Swert-Grossman to the stage. In addition to coaching each of the Ignite speakers, Wendy also teaches a course on creative startups, from ideas to impact, which is part of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship minor. Wendy also teaches at Tufts and is the co-founder of Creative Reframe. She's here to lead us in an interactive exercise which Creative Reframe has honed to help you identify where your ideas come from. Please join me in welcoming Wendy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And give it up, man. Justin, Zoe, you guys are doing a killer job. And all of our incredible Ignite speakers, I'm getting chills. And I have to say, and Bendada, Inês, Edoardo, they were actually students in my class, and they prototyped their idea when they were with me back in 2016, I think it was. And to see what they've been able to do is just incredible. Yes.